Welcome to Ghost of Tsushima, where we play as Jin Sakai, a good obedient doggy, remaining loyal to the samurai code of honor without fault. Not by choice, but out of fear of what my uncle might do to me. Let's just say that what happens in the bedroom as a kid stays in the bedroom. However, when I'm embarrassed through humiliation and my uncle is imprisoned by the Mongols, I'm free from the fear of my uncle's touch, able to stray from tradition and become my true sadistic self, resorting to unconventional methods like brutally penetrating my foes from behind. I could lie and say that I was disgusted with my actions, but truthfully, it felt just as splendid as it does in real life to commit such atrocities. So I quickly took a liking to my new path, which is all thanks to Yuna, the thief who saved my life and put me on the method, who now expects help in saving her brother who's being held captive. But right now, I've got more pressing matters to be dealing with.
Ooh, yes. Show me them cheeks. Ah, yes.
As much as I loved being free from my uncle after years of sus activities, I couldn't live in dreamland forever. Everyone expects me to rescue Lord Shimura, and I fear what may happen to me if he realizes that I've abandoned him, so I agreed to help Yuna. Once I'd done some recruitment of my own to save uncle, starting with Sensei Ishikawa, who's looking for his missing student, suspecting that the Mongols had taken her. Wow, abduction really was the norm back then. When did the world get so boring? Anyway, Sensei kindly gifts me a bow, we team up and blow some stuff up. However, it turns out that his student has actually switched teams, joining the Mongols thanks to Sensei here being a terrible teacher. Oh well, that ain't my problem. So we'll have to find our next recruit, the absolute gilf herself, Lady Masako, whose clan has been massacred by a traitor. They even got the children too. So being the helpful lad that I am, I give her a helping hand, tailing this totally inconspicuous Baldy. And when we catch him, we decide that we're going to keep him alive and get some info out of him. Never mind. You know what? Welcome to the team, Masako. Now that I'd gathered a couple of allies, I could finally help Yuna free her brother, but it wasn't going to be easy. Thankfully, we've got Sake brewer Kenji here to help us infiltrate the fort and get the lads absolutely pissed whilst we do the boring stuff. I wish I could tell you this is a classic drunkard activity in the 1200s, but nope, these guys are 100% sober. Even more reason to hurry and find Yuna's brother. Taka here is a bit of a wimp, with his one redeeming factor being that he's a blacksmith, able to make me a grappling hook to scale the walls of Castle Canada. So we set up shop, and whilst he does that, I'm off into the open world to get one last recruit, my good old totally loyal pal Ryuzo. Of course, to convince him to join my cause, I've got to do him a favour, helping his starving men take back food from the Mongols. So to demonstrate my full commitment, I agreed to wear the Ronin attire, but apparently I'm not respected around here, because they've got me looking like a peasant. Look at the state of that hat. Regardless, I put my very hurt feelings aside, and we hopped in the boat, slayed some baddies, looked for some rice, only to find nothing! Well, luckily I nabbed some Mongol battle plans with a map of supply lines, but Ryuzo goes off on his own, refusing my help. Yeah, let's see how that turns out for you, pal. Anyway, I return to my boy Taka and retrieve my hook. So we're almost set to rescue my uncle, but well, look who shows up begging for my services to save his captured men. The only reason I'm agreeing is because it gives me the excuse to test out my newly made grappling hook and fulfill my childhood fantasy of being Spider-Man. Ryuzo, Yuna, Masako and Sensei Ishikawa. I've gathered all my recruits, and so now it's time to initiate the rescue mission. Everyone has their task, and I'm back to my dishonorable tactics of stealth, with the plan moving swimmingly until I come across Ryuzo trying to aura farm, and I realise we've been betrayed, all for the sake of the bounty on my head. After all I'd done, this is how you repay your day one? Of course, I've always been the superior one in the friendship, so I make quick work of him, and luckily for him, his Mongol friends save him from certain death, but I wasn't letting any more fools get in my way. So I fought through them all, and then I found him, Uncle Lord Shimura. He was now free, but at what cost? How long before he returns to his disgusting antics, touching me up again? I can only thank God for a big enough distraction to keep his eyes off me, as now that he's free, the Khan has gone and taken over his castle, so we've got to reclaim that. With Uncle beside me again, I'm constantly on edge, wondering when he'll return to his old perverted ways, but we continue to fight together, and surprisingly, enjoy some lovely bonding time. which was then ruined by his outrageous demand of being an honorable samurai. Anyway, he starts off by sending me to claim my father's armor, because what screams honor more than wearing the clothes that your dad was brutally murdered in whilst you sat by and watched like a bitch? Don't worry, Papa, I'm a new man now. I even visit his grave to show off my new moves. I'm sure he's so proud of me. With this new suit of mine, I've got a certain aura about myself, so I decide I want to build an army with the people of Yarikawa. Unfortunately though, their best archers have gone missing, so it's up to me and Yuna to find and assist them in fighting some Mongols. Even Taka the coward is feeling brave enough to get out in the field, which is surely a testament to my amazing leadership skills. And after yet another successful mission, me and Yuna could sit back, relax and get blackout drunk. Thankfully, I didn't piss all over my bedroom floor this time. Instead, I woke up not regretting my life choices, but to the melodies of swords clashing in the midst of battle. So with the power of alcohol to fuel me, I slaughter hundreds of Mongols, and even unlock my inner ghost, easily destroying these fools one by one. Lesson of the day, kids, drink till blackout to unlock your full potential. Thanks to that sensational man of the match performance, it's clear that I've won over the people of Yarikawa, so we can add them to the sacrificial lambs that I'll send off to their inevitable demise in our war with the Mongols. If we want to truly defeat them though, we're going to need more than a few soldiers, so I'm off to find Goro, a smuggler who can deliver a message to the mainland for Shogun reinforcements. But when I meet him face to face, my disappointment is immeasurable and my day is ruined. That is not the Goro I know and love. Yakuza fans can relate. All is forgiven though, because now I get to blow shit up to protect his ship. This is peak life, man, so surely it's only misery from here. And I realised this fact when my uncle asked to adopt me as his son. No way I can let this creep claim me as his son. So I knew that to get out of this very sticky situation, I had to devise a plan that breaks every samurai code in the book. One that would get me completely disowned. Before that though, I had some unfinished business. No matter how many foxes I chased, baths I took, or bamboo I struck, I just couldn't forget the betrayal from that absolute snake Ryuzo. So when I'm given a tip on his whereabouts, I knew it was time to do what I do best. I guess no matter how strong you are, cutscene logic shall always prevail. So now I'm left all tied up and vulnerable alongside Mr. Taka, who thought he'd come to the rescue. I wanted to be mad at him, but I just couldn't conjure up the anger inside of me. I've come to love Taka like a brother. I really hope nothing bad happens to him and we can escape together, riding off into the sunset. A man can dream. Rest in peace. You may have been a bit stupid, but you'll be missed. On the brighter side of things, I've lived with my uncle for years, so escaping some rope is light work. And the Khan even kindly left our equipment 10 feet away to pick up and get back to action. Right now I had only one thing on my mind. Kill the Khan, and do it dishonorably enough to be disowned by my uncle. So what better way is there to do that than spiking the Mongols' drinks with a cheeky bit of poison? A little life hack I've come to master in real life after plenty of parties and nights out. Unfortunately though, the Khan isn't around and has fled north like a pussy. So I just settle on killing my childhood bestie instead. But at least Lord Shimura gets to walk in on my victims, witnessing my amazing work on the battlefield. And it's safe to say that I won't be getting adopted anytime soon. Thanks to the help of good old Kenji, my incarceration is short-lived, but the escape comes at the cost of my poor horse. Rest in peace, mate. You died for a great cause. It's only a matter of time before I get my hands on the Khan, thanks to Yuna's help. However, there's a problem. I'm exiled, so I've got no friends. Or so I thought. Turns out that despite the samurai kicking me out, the people of Tsushima love me, but who can blame them? I'm strong, stylish, sexy, unique, and the tale of the ghost continues to grow. So when push comes to shove and I need my allies most, the gang pulls up and backs their boy. The Khan thinks he can hide at Port Izumi like a coward, but little does he know, I'm coming. You can interpret that however you will. Either way, it all makes sense, because the thought of stabbing that bastard to death really gets me going. I rush through killing any Mongol that gets in the way, and then the samurai even pull up, busting through the gates like they're the Avengers, which gives me the chance to focus purely on the Khan. Now I wasn't the same pathetic weak man that I was when we first fought, and the Khan realises this clearly, as he uses cheap tactics and again runs away like a pussy. However, you can't escape fate, and so when I catch up to him, I slaughter that fucker with absolute pleasure and glee. Yay, I've successfully liberated Tsushima from the hands of the Mongols, who've been slaughtering and enslaving innocent civilians. So what do I get as my reward? Death. Why? Because I killed a few Mongols without looking in their eyes. So, the Shogun have sent my own uncle to come and kill me. We had a heartfelt battle, and I could finally take out my years of pain and trauma on my uncle. But when given the choice to spare or kill him, I spare him so he can forever live in embarrassment of his failure to do his job. Thank you to everyone who watched this video. If you did enjoy it, please consider leaving a like, comment and subscribing, making sure to turn the bell notification on for all my new uploads. To my new and current subscribers, I thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one.